My name is Jonas. This is Sublime Media, and this channel I talk about records and record-related stuff, but today I'm actually gonna talk about records. And there's recent vinyl finds. It's been some time since I did a recent vinyl finds video. I just been super busy with the shop. So yeah, but I've actually played some music. It's time to file them, and before I file them in my own collection, I want to show you guys what I played. Or bought and played. So yeah, here it is. Please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe if you think what I'm doing here is worth subscribing to. Give this a thumbs up if you like the video. Mainly because that helps this shoot out to more people via the YouTube algorithm. And let's be honest, more people need good music in their lives and good vibes. So yeah, let's spread the word and comment if you want to give something back of all the hours that I put down on doing content here on YouTube. The best way is just to make a comment. If it's a woohoo or if it's a question or a suggestion or whatever, you know, that's the absolute best way to show appreciation for this channel. And it's also a great way for this to shoot out to even more people. So do me the favor and give me a comment. So without further ado, let's get into the records. I have two pretty big piles, so I'm going to divide this into two separate videos, I think. But each are divided, so we have some rare stuff and some classic stuff. So yeah, I think we'll have a pretty good time with both videos. But I'm going to start with two records that absolutely is not recent vinyl finds. I've had these for years and years, and I'm talking about Hemot with Harvester. So this is a sought after Swedish prog record. One of the best, if not the best, but one of the best. So one of the benefits of having a shop and putting out your face on YouTube, I guess, is that you get so many friends out there. I mean, collectors worldwide that just like, so if I'm looking for a record, you guys, you provide me with suggestions and trades and stuff like that. It's awesome. So it's definitely one of the perks of being on YouTube and having a shop. So one of the guys reached out to me, asked if I wanted something signed by Boander's Passion, because he was going over there having a coffee and talking about music. Because the brainchild of International Harvester and Trägräs och Stenar is Boander's Passion, and he is still alive and kicking. He lives out in the countryside of, I think, outside of Stockholm. So I sent some records and he signed them. So hälsningar, Boander's Passion on Harvester, and I actually also sent, and he signed my International Harvester Så Gott Rosmarie, which is just awesome. I mean, two of my favorite records in my collection is now even more sort of valuable to me. These could be traded or sold because I can find new ones, but now these are forever, you know, sealed in my collection. So pretty cool. I just wanted to show you that. So two signed Harvester and International Harvester records by Boander's Passion himself. Records, yeah. I'm gonna put sort of the sort of the stuff and grail material at the end. So stick for that. Stick for that. Is that even a word? Okay, Stevie Ray Vaughan. This is Can't Stand the Weather. I bought a pretty huge collection of almost audiophile-esque records by a woman whose husband passed away. I ended up buying almost the entire collection and also the stereo equipment, which I've actually traded out for my own collection stereo equipment and now have here set up in front of me. It sounds like a dream, and the records were in perfect condition, almost unplayed, like mint. So I sold some of the records and I kept some. This I actually, the entire sort of Stevie Ray Vaughan catalog I kept because it sounds like a dream. This is the first European press on Epic. It's in better shape than I can ever sort of imagine myself getting one. It's not a hard one to find. Obviously, he sold a lot of records, but in that shape, first press, I don't know. Moving on. This is 1969, and this is we're moving towards UK and the folk scene. So a little bit of folk prog. If you're into that sort of incredible string band and, you know, a little bit more progressive maybe, then this is your cup of tea. This is the Cloud Scrapbook. Rich is in search of a place to belong, such are memories, such are songs. And I don't know if you can see this, but it has like a snake skin sort of texture on the cover, which I think makes it sort of hard not to get with ring wear and stuff like that. This was also in a collection I bought, and I was particularly drawn to the label, the Island label with the, I think that this is called a bullseye variant label. So this was one of the first, if not the first, pressings of the Island label. So 1969. It's a good record, not a 10 or anything like that. But I mean, if you can find it pretty cheap, I would pick it up and try it out and listen to it online also. So I actually don't know if they made anything else. I haven't done the research all the way, you know, out there. Talking about Island Records, this is, and I'm super late to the game with the Flea stuff. I mean, Flea is a band that really escapes me. My dad never played Flea, so I wasn't brought up with that. There's so much music to explore, but Flea has really sort of, I missed out on Flea. So I'm slowly but surely it's making up time with Flea now. This is Fire and Water, and again, and I think that this is my favorite design of the Island label. Very sort of minimalistic with the pink and eye before the palm tree versions. So the music, it's amazing. I mean, I can't really understand how I didn't discover Flea until now. Should be in my collection. And I have one more Flea record. I think I have one more Flea record that I already filed, that I've talked about, and one that I haven't even played yet. So as I said, slowly getting into the Flea catalog. To something completely different. This is a record I really love, and I'm not huge into blues, but this artist is one of the artists that I think I have most of his work, mainly on CD actually. So this came out in 2000, so 24 years old now, just like Love. And I remember my dad bought this when it came out, and he played the fuck out of it. So I think that my love for Eric Bibb is from my father actually. So yeah, so the vinyl version of this came out in 2004, and Opus 3 that produced this, they have a tendency of sounding really, really good. And I think that this is a culmination of his artistic sort of output. Eric Bibb has never sounded as good as on this record, in my opinion. Really, really fantastic. If you're into the acoustic blues, it's well worth seeking out. And I think I've talked about Eric Bibb in a video where I showed CDs before. So now I have this on SACD, on regular CD, and on vinyl. And yeah, the vinyl sounds the best. Spoiler alert. This is not an expensive record, and I don't know, because they never reissued this. So I think that they pressed a lot of these. You can still get it fairly cheaply on the used market, like $30 maybe, something like that. Yeah, moving on. I think this is 1974. I'm just guessing here, but it's a first US press, if I remember correctly, when I filed this. This was also in a collection I bought. Just a few records. They had some pop and rock and stuff like that, and some I ended up selling. This I kept because I've had this for many times. Like Rush is one of those bands that comes and goes in my collection. Some of the stuff I have to be honest, I can't stand it. But I have huge respect for their musicality. Amazing, but when it gets too pompous, it's not my bag. This is far out there. This is probably one of the favorites in the Rush catalog. I mean, Moving Pictures and 2112 is probably the ones that people goes towards, and in good condition, you know. So I ended up keeping this. I think I'll keep it this time. Otherwise, I can always sell it down the line. But I think that people see me as a Rush fan, and I'm not a huge Rush fan. As I said, huge respect, but not the biggest fan in the world. Okay, moving on. This is a first US press, and it's a huge enigma for me that this isn't that this doesn't cost more, but I guess that they sold a lot of copies back in the day, so maybe that's why. But I had a 2010 reissue, sounded crap, and it really didn't do anything for me. I think I've had that for 12 years or something like that. So when I found a first US press of this, I was super thrilled to exchange this for the one that I had in my shelf. Let's see here. So it opens up like this and like that, so it's a cool package, and the artwork is iconic, as you all know. This, I mean, if you are a heavy rock fan, this is a must. I mean, it's definitely a must have. All the Blue Shear records, the first 2 or 3 at least, are essential, I feel, in a good sort of heavy Psych collection. So yeah, Blue Shear. Inside Outside, I think it's called, or Outside Inside. 68. Yeah, moving on. This is one that I bought from Torsten at Holy Shit Records in Berlin this summer, and I played it many times. Now it's time to file it. This is Universe Zero. I think that this was released originally in France 1972 or 74, but without looking in my papers or on my computer, I think that this is a 1977 reissue, so like a second or third press, maybe something like that. Has a cool label. I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, and this is avant-garde progressive rock all the way through. If you are a little bit more of an adventurous with your prog, this is definitely one step you have to take. Great one. Check it out online. I think you can sample it on. It's on Spotify and definitely on YouTube. So check it out if it's something you want. If it's something that you can sort of dare exploring, it's definitely worth checking out. So yeah, Mini Ripperton released Come Into My Garden 1970 or 71. That's a masterpiece of a record. I've had an original first press of that at one time, but it sounded like shit. It was in such a bad condition, so I ended up selling because I never played it. And I've been looking for an affordable copy ever since, and I'm going to Den Bosch now, so hopefully I can maybe get one over there. Anyway, I think the story is that she went to like a housewife mode after that, so she had a 3-year something like that, a hiatus. Someone nagged her to start recording again, and she did, and released a lot of records afterwards. But the second one, so after this, is the comeback record of sorts. Perfect Angel, really nice cover artwork. This is iconic. And yeah, I buy some soul and some funk and stuff like that when it turns out in collections or for cheap, you know, if they are stuff that I really had on my want list for long. Mini Ripperton, definitely the first 3-4 records, highly recommended. This is the only one I have in my collection right now. That is an original press, at least. On Epic, I think this is the first US press. Maybe I said that. And it has some great tunes on it. The first one, in my opinion, the first one is the best song, called Reasons. But Loving You, I think, were the big hit on this one, and also in her career. I think that is the biggest selling sort of single, and they still play that, and it's a good song. But in my opinion, the first one is better. Not really a bad track on the entire record. It's a Perfect Angel, 1973, 74. Okay, this is awesome. So now we're getting into a little bit more rare territory. This is still affordable. I feel like this is one of those records that when people get their eyes up for this is going to just skyrocket in price, because I don't feel like there is so many of this out there. But I might be wrong. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. I actually had no idea about this particular record and how huge it is until last year's Hova Fair. the record fair in Hova. One guy was playing this on a portable turntable at the camping site. I was just like, my mind was just blown. But what the fuck is this? And he said it's them, but without Van Morrison. And this is the one that he played. This, I get goosebumps just showing and talking about this. This is a great one, the most heavy of the outputs that they have, of the ones that they put out. Yeah, and in my opinion, the best one of the ones that I've heard, at least of them after Van Morrison quit the band. This is a perfect record through and through, in my opinion. And collectability wise, it's not super easy to find, and it's on Happy Tiger labels, not a major label release at all, which makes me think that it's not a record that they put out in like hundreds of thousands of copies. Yeah, music fantastic and not super expensive. Like I think you can get a good copy of this for like 30, 40, 50 euro. And this should be like a $200 record, in my opinion. If you take all of those parts and put them together, like the label, the music, and 1969, I think. So it's not a like late 70s record or something like that. Okay, digress. Is that the word for it? Sometimes I say English words and I don't really know if it's correct. That's just me. Okay, the Climax Chicago Blues Band. This is the debut record that they put out. So now we're in England and we are in 1967 maybe? 68. This is the UK blues. I love this movement in the UK from this time period. I mean, John Mayall, early Fleetwood Mac, just amazing. And the Climax Blues Band is not maybe my favorite, but I think I have most of their releases in their catalog now. But sort of like strong 6, 7 maybe out of 10 when it comes to music and musicality. But nice ones to collect. This is from a huge collection I bought like 2 years ago, and I haven't really played it and like felt like I could file it until now. It's on the Yellow Parlophone label in the UK, and you can you know that it's a first press because it says sold in UK subject to resale price conditions blah 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 beneath the Yellow Parlophone, and you also have made in Great Britain. So that's how you tell that it's a first press. And it's also one of those, I don't know what it's called, fold over. You see that? Anyway, so yeah, nice one to let slip into the collection. But definitely one that if I was in need of money and or would want to trade something, so forth, the entire sort of Climax Blues Band catalog could, go. It's been so long since I played this, so I can't really remember any details of it. It's been on my want list forever, and this is the first one with this band that I actually get to own. Yeah, and it's, I think, the third and last record also from them. This is Blonde on Blonde. Reflections on a Life on Amber Records. I think it's a really nice record label. You see that? It's not the biggest label out there. Inside of the gatefold and backside. It's very arty, sort of. Reminds me of Hypnosis or something like that. Like a Pink Floyd sort of vibe, cover-wise. Yeah, what I remember, this is a great sort of heavy Psych record. Comparing to the other ones, I feel like the first one they debut is the best one, if I remember correctly, and then this and the second one at third place, something like that. But I need to revisit it. But for now, I'm gonna file it and see what the future brings for that. So yeah, Blonde on Blonde, great one. three more to go, then I'm gonna let you go. This is okay. So record stores in Sweden. There's one of my favorite record stores in Sweden is way up north. It has to be one of the record stores that is most up north in Sweden, but I might be wrong. Of the bigger ones, at least. So John has a record store called Bibb Check him out. He has an Instagram and Facebook account. I feel like he sends stuff. So if you are interested in something that he shows, I feel like when after the people in the store has got their chance, he has no problem sending stuff. I don't think so anyway. Maybe he has, but he sent stuff to me anyway. And this was one that I saw, and I just told him right away, I have to have that record. It's a little bit like wavy or water damaged or whatever, the cover. So I got it for a great price. I'm super happy with that. This is Jonathan Kelly, first record, first UK on Parlophone. So it's on the black and white Parlophone label. So this is, I think that this is Acid Archive's entry. It's not an acid folk record. It's definitely not a loner folk record either, because it's more arranged, more orchestrated, bigger band. You know, more solid commercial songs. I should say, but it's super strong all the way, and it's a mystery how this isn't bigger than it is. And I don't think that it's ever been reissued, but I might be wrong. He released more music after this, but nothing that is on a collector's sort of standpoint is hard to find or expensive. This is a little bit hard to find, and in my opinion also, with the ones that I have listened to, this is so much better than everything else. So Jonathan Kelly, self-titled record, definitely recommended. Okay, so story time. Two more to go, then I'm gonna let you go. So story time. I'm at my daughter's football match. She's on this sort of tournament of playing 3 matches, and she's 10, so everyone is running for the ball, you know. And I'm in a super hurry. I borrowed the car from my work, because I am going to move forward down in Sweden to get some shelves for my shop. So I'm watching this, and just right after it's done, I have to really get going, you know. So I jump in the car, and my wife and my daughter, they drive with their own car. They drive home. So I get out to the car, and a buddy of mine is shouting from the other side of the street, saying that there's a flea market and they have 2 crates of records. And every flea market had to have 2 crates of records. So, and I never ever go to flea markets nowadays. I keep away from those because they just let me down every time, and I'm in a huge rush. But something tells me to go to this crate and actually spend 30 seconds on it. Okay, so I drop everything, go to the other side of the street, go to the crate, start to flip through them, and it's just shit. It's just like shit all the way through. But halfway into the second one, the last crate, this pops up. It's in mint condition. It just stands there. And I go to the counter and pay the $1 that the €1, the $1, the 10 Swedish crowns that they are asking for it. It looks unplayed, like it's in brand new condition, and I cleaned it now. I shit you not, a needle, except for my own now, has never touched this record. So what is this? Well, it's been on my want list for 10 years, I think. It's a Turkish folk record with psychedelic and progressive sort of beats. It's very hard to say exactly what it is, because it feels so modern, almost ahead of our time right now. This could, every single track on this could be sampled. It's so easy to get into. It's a perfect record through and through. So, I mean, finding this for $1 at a flea market when I'm at my daughter's match, it's just like, it's unbelievable. And finally in my collection after all these years. I mean, it's a $100 record. And in this condition, maybe more. So super stoked to have that. This does not mean that I am going to go to flea markets more after this. Absolutely not, because I get disappointed every time. Nowadays I go to flea markets to look for books and for CDs, never vinyl. But obviously there are stuff still out there for you to find. And last but not least, and now we have to talk about another store here in Sweden that is one of my favorite stores. So Jackdaw Records, again, he's on Instagram and he's on Facebook. You can check it out. I don't know if he sends records actually, but Mats is one of the best guys ever. And nowadays I am proud to call him my friend. We talk almost on a weekly basis and he helps me out with the shop, like the philosophy of having a record shop. So one of the greatest guys out there, definitely. He had this in his own personal collection and he was purchasing some records this summer and showed me this, so we worked out a price. If it wasn't for the rip on the front of the cover, or on the cover I should say, then I could never afford it. But we worked out a great price. So this is one of the pillars of Swedish progressive rock. This is called Resan. Perfect cover artwork. This is truly a hippie collective of musicians that just does everything right. It came with the original inner sleeve, which is a nice touch for a collector, obviously. And this is on the Epic label, the yellow Epic label. So Resan is melting pot of the musicians of who's who in Sweden in the beginning of, or mid 70s. It's often called the second life record. So if you are into Swedish prog, I think you know what record I'm talking about, the life record. But there's several other band constellations I could talk about when it comes to the musicians of this one. Yeah, as a collector, I'm super stoked to have this. I actually never thought I would own this. I mean, 10-15 years ago, this was unreachable, and it's just skyrocketed in price ever since. So for me, it was unreachable. So I never thought that I would get one. So super happy with that. Thank you so much, Mats, and do check out Jackdaw Records. He really deserves it. It's a great shop. It's one of those shops that when you go into a shop, I always feel like I find like 30 records that I want, but I can sort of afford, or I buy like 2 of them, because I find the prices being a little bit higher for my taste, and and the conditions, stuff like that. Not in Mats' store. When you go into Jackdaw Records, you find 15 records and you go out with 12 of them, because he priced them exactly right. So he priced them so you feel like you can't afford not to buy them, because it's such a great deal, and the stock that he holds is also like not a bad record. So all those shit records that people have in their crates, they are all gone. He doesn't sell any of those. So it's a little bit of a smaller shop, but everything is fantastic in there. So yeah, highly recommended. Check it out. He's in Skara if you live in Sweden, but Instagram, Facebook, that's the thing. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found anything. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and comments. Give something back. The best way to do that is to comment. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.